So in this little tour, I'm going to focus on what I have growing on and around the deck that's just outside the kitchen, just so that I split up the July tour into smaller, more manageable chunks, and I don't end up having a huge monolith video that people get bored with part of the way through. So, I'm looking here at, there's kitchen door, there's Colin. So starting at this corner, I've got this tomato, I think it was Shirley. It was a grafted tomato that I bought online. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be faring very well out here on the deck in the outside world, because we've not really had a tremendous amount of warm weather recently, I think, and it's got quite wet just in its location during the rainstorms that we've had. We have got some flowers, as you can see, but no tomatoes set as yet. In the corner, this is just a sort of large, heavy tub that I have a clematis growing from, and also this ivy growing from. You can see some of the clematis here, and the clematis I try and train along here. And there's one flower going to appear up there. So it's doing okay. The ivy tends to do quite well. Now, I have my quail, little quailies here, in their L-shaped environment, and I've made use of the top of this part of the run just to store some plants that need to be relocated. So I've got some lemon, is that lemon verbena or lemon balm? Now I bought this, it's lemon balm. So I'm waiting on what will be my herb bed becoming vacated. It's got other things in it at the moment. Now we've got this Carex, and this actually goes in with the quail and then comes out every so often, just so that it doesn't get totally eaten by them. And then this is ranunculus, I think. Yeah, this is a ranunculus that I'm growing for the first time this year. And then here is a chard called Charlotte, and I'm starting it off in this container, and I may well just continue growing it in the container. I may well thin out. I grew or sowed a few seeds at each of the stations that I planted in here, so I might actually thin this out a little bit. I prefer to eat chard, baby chard in salads and so on, but if it gets bigger I can always feed it to the quail and the chickens. And then here we have, I actually bought a sort of job lot of herbs from, I think it was Mr. Fothergill's. It was sort of 9 pots of herbs to get started in a sort of herb bed. This is some oregano. I have some tarragon, some mint, some thyme, and I've already got some lemon thyme planted, and some, I think 2 parsleys and a sage at the back there, so they'll be getting planted on very shortly. And then there's some more flowers, some more ranunculus and anemone, and they were all neat and tidy, and then the squirrels came and dug these up, so they'll probably be a bit higgledy-piggledy when they grow, but we'll see. Down here we've got a little hebe that I bought just in Morrison's. I do like my hebes, as anyone that has watched my videos before knows. So we've got a little hebe there that I will pot on. And then these are some of my own hostas that I actually grew from seed last year. I've got a number of them sort of floating around. They're small at the moment, but each year they'll come back larger and larger. And then looking at the edge of the deck here, I've got a couple of strawberries that gave me some nice strawberries with some weeds floating about in here as well, which I will need to tidy up, but they're just on the surface really. And then I have some more hostas. These hostas I bought. This one is called Fire and Ice. It's small at the moment, but it'll grow to a medium-sized hosta. This one is blue mouse ears. This is a small one. It's got some chibs out of it from probably slugs, I think. And then another blue mouse ears. And then here we have a stilb, if that's how you say it. I got this last year, and it's called Chocolate Shogun. So the foliage is lovely actually. Not had any flowers this year because it was a bit of a waif, sort of tucked away in a pot that was overgrown. So it's here playing a waiting game until I find a proper place for it. And then here we have an Astrantia. This one is called Hadspin Blood. And we did have some flowers. Again, this one was not looked after very well, so it's in a pot at the moment. Here we have some oregano, Greek oregano that I grew from seed, which was doing great, and then I missed watering for a little bit and it got a little bit unhappy, but it's bouncing back now, and I guess oregano is used to having times when it doesn't have a lot of moisture. Okay, in my big new veg truck, I've harvested turnips and lettuce from here and radish from here, and now I have popped in some beetroot. This is Bitolo beetroot, Bitolo F1, and I've multi-sown there, and then I think that's the same, that row, and then we've got some Pablo beetroot. Here is what remains of what was sown as chop suey greens, so as small leaf plants. These are edible. Well, they're edible as they are now actually, but the smaller they are, the nicer they are in salads and so on. I wasn't that enamoured by the flavour, to be honest, so I gave quite a lot of this to the quail, who really liked it. But this is actually a member of the chrysanthemum family, and if you leave it to flower, you get sort of daisy-like flowers, or so I'm told. So you can see here that I've got some flowers forming. So that's why I've sort of left this to see what it looks like when it flowers, and then I'll just feed it to the quail. Down here I've got some spicy salad mix, which is nice in salads, and that there was a couple of lettuce that I've given to the quail as well. So this bed is sort of not looking dramatic at the minute, but hopefully I'll get some nice beetroot from it in the coming months. Just on the window ledge here are some more of the hostas that I grew from seed. So it doesn't grow true, so you never really know what you're going to get. This one has got a little bit of variegation, I think, although it does look a wee bit unhappy right now. And then we've got a couple of others as well there, and one over here. So I'll keep growing these year on year and just see how they develop. This is just a little holding area for plants that I need to find locations for. There's another Carex that will go into the quail and then come back out again when it gets too moth-eaten. Some more of my homegrown hostas. I must keep growing these year on year and then I can give them a name. Here are another two hostas. These were bought hostas and they aren't cheap. If you look at the price, they're £10 each. This is Frosted Mini Hearts, which is tiny at the minute. And this one is Funny Bones. Again, tiny, but it will grow a little bit larger. Here is some thyme that I grew from seed. So just again trying to make some progress with it. And this little hosta here, Marlon Monroe, I thought I'd killed it, but it looks like it's coming back, which is quite nice. So I'm having to give these a little bit of TLC. This is actually just some thyme that was from a supermarket, so I'm just going to give that into the quail because it's sort of done its job. And over here we have Tom and I's anniversary plant box. We, or Tom got it for my first wedding anniversary, our first wedding anniversary actually. And we've got our names on it, etc. down at the side there. So this is a hosta. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but again, year on year it comes back and it gives us these little purple flowers. Then I just filled up the rest this year with some snapdragons and some of this, which I can't remember what it is, but it is looking mighty fine. So over to these veg trugs. I've got 3 veg trugs at this side, and this one is resplendent with 2 different types of lettuce in. We've got all the Marvel of 4 Seasons, and then a little gem which is starting to bolt now. But again, these, whilst I eat some lettuce, I can't get through all of this, so this is given to the quail predominantly. This is going to be one of the areas that I grow herbs in, and I've already got a lemon thyme out of the batch that I bought from Mr. Fothergill. So I've got a lemon thyme, and at the back this is a sorrel that I grew from seed. And here's some more Marvel of 4 Seasons and a little gem in there as well. And just at the edge here, before I thought about making this into a herb bed, I popped in one of my courgettes, which is it's a gold line, I think it's called, and it gives yellow courgettes. So there's a few just forming down there. So yeah, it's looking okay. This one here, whoops, just around here. This one here had some lettuce in that I have harvested now, and it's got some parsley that I've chopped down because it went to flower, but it will come back again. At the back here, there are 2 tubs of strawberries, and they gave me some nice strawberries. This is their first year though, and you can see I've got a little runner in there, just pegged down, which I'll do with some of the other runners to get some more plants for next year. And then a trough that has some lettuce in. And if I just step back in front of these trugs, there's some flowers starting to happen. So we've got some French marigolds, African marigolds here. Rudbeckia, this will be Toto, I believe. Now, these are pepper plants, obviously not happy with the weather, so they're not going to do anything, I don't think. I thought I'd try growing them outside of a grow house, but no, not happy. So I'll see how they go, but I'll probably just pull them out shortly and use the tub for something else. And then we have some more Rudbeckia, and you can see there's a flower forming in that one. I love Rudbeckia actually because they're really great for cut flowers, and bring them indoors and get some lovely cut flowers, and they go on till sort of October time, which is fantastic. And then we have a sunflower here. This one is Sunburst. It's been in a small pot for quite a long time, so it's not going to do anything dramatic size-wise, but I've potted it on and given it a pole, bamboo cane to grow up, so that should be okay. And while I'm on the subject of sunflowers, here's a little collection of sunflowers in a pot. Sunburst, I think that is I don't know what that is actually. I think that was an unknown one that's at the bottom there. And yeah, and Sunburst are the other ones. So we will see if that looks like anything once it grows. A bit sort of haphazardly put together, this one, but we'll see. And then on the table in the deck, if I just pull this chair back, we have this pot that contains perennials that I've grown this year for the first time, called Lychnis. And it was all fine and dandy until the squirrels moved in and started digging them up. That's why I've got this over it. And then I've got some more Lychnis there as well. I've got these little geraniums that I grew from seed this year. They've got to the size and then aren't doing very much else. I don't know whether they're just needing a bit more heat, but I will carry on trying to persuade them to grow. And then we have a failure. This is a Roma tomato. Now, it should have been okay outside. It seems to be a bit stunted, don't you think? It's all like, bleh. It's all like congested. Maybe what I should do is cut off a lot of these flowers, leaves now I think about it, because there are tomatoes, but all look a bit freaky to, if you ask me. And then here we have some, oops, hang on till I get my, that's it. Here we have some celery, which I think is looking okay. I've not grown celery outside before. Well, in fact, I've not grown celery from seed at all. It's starting to get a wee bitty variegated there. I don't know whether that's right or not, to be honest, but the stems look okay. So I should get some celery, which is nice, and I've got other celery around the garden. And then we have some calendula funky stuff, this one is called. And another couple of sunflowers. And then here's some more grasses that I use and swap in and out of the quail to give them some sort of natural grass in their habitat, but I try and pull them out before they get munched too much by the quailies. Right, oh, over here. So just at this side of the quail run, we have got, I think this is Big Smile sunflower, which is just about to start flowering. And we have more Rudbeckia, which are about to start flowering. And then this was a flower mix, this one here, which has got nasturtium and it's got marigolds and things. So I literally sowed as the mix and then just transplanted the small pot into a larger pot to see how it grew. So I think it'll probably look okay. We've got nasturtiums flowering already. So that is what is happening on the deck outside the kitchen. I'll just pan round. So there's some consumables, some yummy things, some flowers, a few failures, and a few promising things to come. So that's really us for this part of the garden tour for July. I'll be doing more parts of the garden over the coming days, but for now, if you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please comment if you have anything to say, if there's anything you would like to see or any comments you would like to make about what you've seen in the video. And if you haven't already subscribed, it would be great if you could subscribe to follow me in my gardening, chicken keeping and quail keeping journeys. But for now, I'll say bye-bye.